For thousands of years, farmers have worked the land, providing food for themselves and an ever-increasing population. In this century alone, advances such as the farm tractor, fertilizers, and herbicides have led to increased quality and productivity. Today, utilizing modern farm management techniques, Canadian farmers feed more people more efficiently than ever before. New technologies have also created new opportunities for Canadian farmers. Today's growers need every advantage to maximize returns in this internationally competitive environment. Working with farmers and researchers across Canada, AgriGrowth Technologies is helping growers improve their yields with Nitrozyme. When used as part of a regular spray program, Nitrozyme can improve your yields 15 to 30% this growing season. This Agriculture Canada registered plant growth regulator stimulates growth under normal field and stress conditions. Dr. Jan Veer of the University of Alberta has tested Nitrozyme for 2 years on both test plot and farm trials.
Nitrozyme, or the compound which is responsible for the activity, cytokinin, have a very pronounced effect on the plant when the plant is in a environmental stress condition. Nitrozyme is able to correct this and have this plant perform in a normal manner, that is to say, it will increase the yield to an optimum performance.
Dr. Veer's tests on foliar applied Nitrozyme showed average increases of 15 and 18% on wheat, 14 and 19% on barley, 17 and 32% on canola, 15 and 25% on oats, 9 and 26% on alfalfa, 24 and 30% on corn.
In the seed germination stage, one can treat, for instance, just prior to seeding, when one augers the seed into the seed bin of the seeder, you can mix your seed with a solution of Nitrozyme, and this increases the germination quite significantly, and this probably due to the fact that it has a protective effect on the seed, so the seed is protected against fungal and bacterial attacks. And from a physiological point of view, one sees that the root formation of germinating seed is by far more extensive, in that the root hairs, which are responsible for the uptake of nutrients, are by far more abundant in treated samples than in the untreated samples, so there is an enormous difference. This is even noticeable at maturity of the plant. It was a revelation really, to pull a plant untreated and a plant treated and compare the root systems of these two, and you see that the root system of a treated plant is approximately twice the volume of the untreated one.
Tests conducted by Dr. Brewster at the University of Idaho showed a 38% increase in root development on Nitrozyme-treated seeds. What kind of results can you expect on your crop?
We used Nitrozine 1988 on our canola crop on a quarter-section field. Where we did the check strip, we swathed it with a 20-foot swather up and back, and same in the controlled. We then combined it and took it to Cargill and weighed both the check and the Nitrozine side of the canola. The difference was 32% increase in yield. One ran 33.4 bushel the acre and the other ran just about 45 bushel the acre. We went from 5.3 to 6.3 kilometers an hour in both the check strips. It was just incredible. There was just no comparison.
Rod Ross is a major fertilizer dealer in Camrose, Alberta.
We took on Nitrozyme as an additional product line in May of 1988, and we've had very good results with it. In May, we hired a full-time agronomist to look after our Nitrozyme product. Most of the customers that use it use Sluwater, and our results average between 15 and 30% increase. We had a few that were over 30%, and we did as an accurate a test as we could. Out of the 8 customers that we had that did proper test results, that did specific tests and weighed out the control section versus the Nitrozyme section, of those 8 that did it, they have all indicated to us that they will be spraying all their farm next year, all their wheat, rape, and barley, with Nitrozyme.
Saskatchewan farmers are seeing the same results. In 1988, more than 85% of those growers who did yield checks are increasing their use of Nitrozyme next season. Dave Stahl is the field boss of the Holden Hutterite colony. This colony has been using Nitrozyme for 3 years.
I'll take a couple of heads from them that were not sprayed, but they were seed treated. There was no foliar spray applied, and here you can see there's some really good heads there, but up on top you see some finer kernels, and on the bottom there's some kernels that are not filled. That's due because the head usually fills from the center out. These are the 2 heads that were sprayed with Nitrozyme, and you can see that they're really full all the way right to the top. There are a few kernels at the bottom that are not filled, but it's much more uniform all the way than these 2 heads here. And this seems to me to overcome heat stress a lot better.
Dave has seen many benefits from Nitrozyme use. Here, the results of a foliar spray application on oats can be seen. Dave's colony has also been reducing their use of hormonal herbicides while improving their yields using natural, non-toxic Nitrozyme. Healthier plants mean higher yields, and higher yields help reduce the risks that all farmers face. But the greatest risk to Canadian growers is not low yields, low prices, or foreign competition. It's their routine exposure to the toxic chemicals that modern agriculture demands. Tests conducted by Agri-Growth Technologies at Olds Agricultural College in 1988 showed that a mixture of non-toxic Nitrozyme with Target at 60% of the recommended rate not only provided equal herbicidal activity, but also increased yields 11 to 50%. Here on Leo Werjonic's farm in the Peace River District, the herbicidal enhancement effects of Nitrozyme can be seen. Leo tank mixed Lontrel with his Nitrozyme and sprayed this part of his canola field, and it's thistle-free. Here he sprayed Lontrel without Nitrozyme, and some thistle has returned. Jim McNair of Carman, Manitoba applied Target at 1/2 the recommended rate mixed with Nitrozyme. He saw no difference in weed control while increasing his yield 40% on wheat.
I was very impressed by the augmenting effect of Nitrozyme on herbicides and insecticides. And that is that one can cut down very, very considerable on the amount of herbicide to be sprayed per acre when one adds Nitrozyme to it. The same holds true for insecticides, and this is very well established in literature, this synchronistic effect of Nitrozyme and the herbicide or the insecticide, and this is an enormous saving for the farmer.
How does Nitrozyme work on other crops?
Okay, I'm John Witt from New Rock Forest. And behind me, you'll see some early wheat corn, which were planted around April 16th. And 2 rows to my right were treated with Nitrozyme. And I think the picture talks about itself.
John also used Nitrozyme on his cabbages, where he found that his crop not only matured about 2 weeks earlier, but showed less insect damage. Where he used to spray his pesticides every week, now he sprays just once a month. In greenhouse applications, Nitrozyme proves effective.
When we started out our crop this year, we started soaking our peat moss in a nitrozyme solution and then planting the seed into these little plug trays of peat moss. We let that grow up till they were about 2 or 3 inches high, and then we transplanted them into a pot that was about 4 or 5 inches in diameter and about 5 inches high. Where nitrozyme helped us was in our sturdiness or hardiness of the plants as they germinated, and also in transplanting, that it helped us in our transplant by not giving a shock treatment or anything. The plants seemed to just grow continually. The real benefit that I noticed or attribute to nitrozyme is that from transplanting time or seeding time to picking time was, we felt that it jumped our date up about 2 weeks, and that our picking was more concentrated at the first of the year.
Tests conducted on field tomatoes by the Ontario Ministry of Food and Agriculture show an increase in marketable yield of more than 2 tons per acre using nitrozyme. In 1988 tests, nitrozyme-treated carrots showed an increase in marketable yield of over 4 tons per acre while improving crop quality. Onions treated with nitrozyme showed improved yields of over 8 tons per acre with a more uniform, higher quality crop. Nitrozyme is also effective on pine trees. Here, the stimulation of new growth can be seen on trees under severe stress conditions. When properly applied, nitrozyme can promote new bud growth and development. Nitrozyme is applied on small grains and canola at a rate of 1 liter per hectare, mixed with 100 to 150 liters of water and a surfactant. Nitrozyme is applied at the same plant growth stage as broadleaf herbicides. Timing of application is important to maximize results. Nitrozyme can be applied using ground, aerial, or overhead irrigation systems. Clean surface water should be used, and the crops should be sprayed in the early morning or the late evening. Plants dormant due to stress should not be sprayed. Maximizing yields is what the business of modern farming is all about. Using non-toxic nitrozyme is one way that growers can increase their yields and their profits today.